welcome to another episode of Radio with Pictures in the Field, and we are in Lautoka for our Western Division Consultation to speak to district women leaders who are representing the district of Tavua in preparation for the 2017-2018 national budget. At the table with me today is Unaisi Bakewa. Unaisi, you are the president of the Tavua Disabled Organization?
Vice President.
You're the Vice President. And how many members do you represent?
150 members.
150.
Yeah.
And are they from, where are they from?
They are all from the Tikin of Tavua, and it's all the Tavua area. And I'm also representing the Tavua Songsong of Akamarama.
And how many members in the Songsong?
250 members.
250. Thank you, Una. And we also have Jaimati. Jaimati, you are the president of the Vuqele Multiracial Women's Club?
Yeah, I am the president of my Vuqele Multiracial Women's Club and have 11 members in my club.
11 members.
Yeah.
Thank you. And finally, we also have Sarojini Goundar. Sarojini, you belong to the Nasivi Women's Group, but you're also the advisory councillor for, I believe, 6 settlements?
6 settlements, yeah.
In Tangi Tangi.
Yeah.
And Tangi Tangi is a very big area, is that
Yes.
right?
Mm.
And so how many households are you responsible for?
I'm responsible for 465 households, and there must be more than 2,000 population in that area.
Because I believe that the Tangi Tangi is a sugarcane farming area.
Yes.
And you get a lot of migration to that area, is that right?
Yes. We have got sugarcane area. We have got vegetable farming and sugarcane both in my area.
Thank you. So, Unaisi, I'd like to start with you to talking about what is the development priority for leaders, women leaders like yourselves in Tavua. What is that?
For women's leaders in Tavua, the 3 priority members that we came up with is first is infrastructure, and that for the people living in rural areas like Wenivode and Ramasi, Natolevu, that's Kandabu settlement, Lumbu, infrastructure in terms of water problem, roadings, and iris crossing. And the second one is the political security, the lack of participations of women, lack of resources in participation of women. So if we already come across in the last few months, there was no women's interest officer. And thirdly,
And this is for the whole of Tavua.
yeah, the second one is the whole of Tavua. And the third one is the development of the public facilities in Tavua, like the public convenience, rubbish dump in Tavua town. Also the health facilities and the bus shelter to be built alongside the road. And lastly, mostly, the main problem with the public facilities is the public convenience in Tavua.
Because you'll have a lot of people coming from the interiors to Tavua to use the marketplaces, for example.
It's only the market vendors, but for the whole area in Tavua, there's only one public convenience. So everybody's using that, and it's not really hygienic. If you tend to go to Tavua, you can tend to go and visit that place somehow.
Maybe not. Thank you, Una. I'd like to come over to you, Jaimati, because you are a farmer. You're a sugarcane farmer. And for you, when it comes to infrastructure or the issues around the sugarcane farming sector, what is your main development priority? What are the issues that you are facing?
Now, as in Vuqele, I'm staying in Vuqele. So my main priority is that we are lots of ladies are the farmers there, and as our lease is over, so they are not renewing our leases because it is under the state of, and if we have 2 people in one, so we both have to go there in the lands department for the renewal of the lease. And if one is going and one is not going, so we won't get the lease. So it is very...
It's very hard.
So it is very hard. As for me, I am also struggling for 3 years finished. And now 4 years is going. And I went to legal aid. They were helping, but they didn't help me. So I wrote a letter to the government of the day and to the lands department and to the legal aid to help me. And now and some of them they paid the leases of and they have 14 to 15. They are not.
So
They
14
didn't
to
get the lease.
15,000
Yeah.
is the cost of the lease.
No.
Is that right?
No. They didn't pay the lease and their
So that's
rent
the,
is that much. So they can't pay it now.
I'd
So
like-
they didn't get the lease.
I'd like to talk a little bit about, when we're talking about trying to go and renew our land,
Lease. Yeah.
when we're talking about trying to go and renew our land lease, it's not something as simple as
Yeah.
getting into a car and then driving.
driving,
There's a lot
yeah.
of issues. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So when I go there, because my land is under the estate of, when my father-in-law died, then our land is under the estate of, right? So when I go there, they want me the D-bonus. So I went to legal aid and some of the places, and to the lawyer, but the lawyer cost is very high. So we went to legal aid, and they didn't want to help me and said that we can't do anything.
So the issue, I think, if I'm hearing you correctly, Jaimati, and I'd like to come across to you, Sarojini, as you're listening. Jaimati, the lease was under your father-in-law.
Yeah.
But you're having a lot of difficulty as a woman leader and as a farmer in getting the situation to
because
recognize
my
your
mother-in-law
leadership.
is not participating with me to go to the lands department because they want to see my mother-in-law. But she's not going there. So I can't get my lease.
Okay, thank you, Jaimati. For you, Sarojini, as a woman in local government, you're an advisory councillor for around 2,000 people, and you're listening to the difficulties that other women leaders are facing. What are the experiences that you have had and that you can learn from when it comes to trying to support women leaders to be able to have, that sort of security?
I just want to add on with Jaimati. She has got the land under the name of the state. It's its own state now because the father-in-law died and there are 2-3 families like their sons. So it comes under the state. If he has got the trustee there, they can go and apply. If not, then they have all the family have to go there, especially the mother-in-law. She has to go to the Itoke Lands Department and just she can just mention to them that she is going to divide the land to so many children, and she want, but she is not doing that. She is not giving that authority to go and divide the land and give to the separate bodies. Just because some of the people, they just think of the old age, that the women can't go in that agricultural land and they can't upgrade the agricultural land. That's what they are thinking. They're just thinking of their sons, the ones who are alive. That's the main problem with Jaimati.
So how can we strengthen, for example, the access for women to legal literacy, for them to be able to understand their rights and for others as well?
Some of the advisory council, or someone can go and talk to the mother-in-law and take her to the lands department. Just explain everything to her nicely. And some people, when something happens in my area, I just go and talk to them. Sometimes I myself go with them to the lands department.
So the responsibility of advisory councillors to be that support
Maybe
system.
the advisory councillor or the head of the family, some other families, the head of the family, they can go and talk.
So for you, Sarojini, what would be your priority as an advisory councillor when it comes, to the national budget? What needs to be prioritized from your experience and listening to what
My
you're hearing today?
priority is that I want more women in decision making. especially now in Tavua, like there is no interest officer for last 3 months. And the one she was there because she was not active. Before, 3-4 years before, when we had some of the interest officers, they were very active. They used to combine the Indian and the Fijian groups together and do the meetings. But this one, when I go to her and told her, when you have the meeting, please call me. I'm the councillor. When I go around, I need some of the information. But she never called me. She's never calling me and never tell me that we are having the meeting here. And she even dropped our clubs. She even not inviting our club in the meetings. And now I'm hearing that she is not there for last 3 months. So we just want one active interest officer in Tavua. And also I'm just concerned about some of the issues in my area, like some of the public committees, like in the schools, in the Sikh temple, and our there's plenty things they are organizing, but they don't include any women in that committees. I don't know why they're doing that, because they just want, even though there is not an active man there, they make him the treasurer and the member of that committee, but they don't want the active women in the committee.
So how can we also include faith-based organizations to talking about gender equality in their own
even myself, I'm advisory councillor. They don't include me in any of that their meetings or any of their committees. But when they have their problems, they come to me. Right. And all the time I'm raising these issues to those people that why don't you include some of the women with you? But they don't want to do that.
Thank you,
so we need that.
Having that political support for women leaders like yourself. Coming over to you, Una, as you've listened to Jaimati talking about her issues of accessing land, as well as you are raising the fact that there is no women's interest officer, and Sarojini has explained a little bit more about that. But for you as the Vice President of the Tavua Disabled Peoples Association, you are talking about the development of public facilities in Tavua. What is the situation right now for the members of your organization?
I think that issue about public facilities, it's not only for the people with disabilities. It's for everybody, especially the women's. They've been complaining about the poor public facilities, especially the public convenience in Tavua. As we see here in Lautoka or in some of these areas, they've been paying that 20 cents per visit. So why can't they be implemented in Tavua so that it can increase that poor facilities to be highly standard facilities?
So looking at Tavua and the district of Tavua and asking the question, what can the national budget do to help improve, for example, people in the town council be able to implement or help the community members have access to legal literacy and also information on participating, in governance structures, for example, the Women's Interest Officer. How can she be supported to help advisory councillors, like Sarojini, be able to participate in local council meetings? Do you think there should be an allocation in the national budget to help, local councils be able to support women in leadership?
Yes, I really think that the national development must increase the budget allocation, or must really look into the allocations of the local through Ministry of Local and Housing and Environment to the ministry, so that it can look right deeply into that matters, because that's also concern the health of the public, especially not only people with disability but public as a whole. It's really concern about the health of the public.
Thank you very much, Unaisi Bakewa, for speaking to me today, as well as Jaimati from the Vuqele Multiracial Women's Club and Sarojini Goundar, Advisory Councillor for the Tangitangi area. I'm Alisia Evans. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Radio with Pictures in the Field.